Hello, so apparently you're interested in the ghost tours in Stockholm since you clicked on my video. I just got back. I'll tell you guys that I'm not disappointed. It was awesome. I did a little recording with my phone. Unfortunately, it died in the end, but I thought that I would put together the little filming that I did into a video so you guys can have a little preview. But yeah, if you're in Stockholm, you should definitely book a tour and experience it for yourself because it was amazing. So yeah, I just put together the clips I have, and I hope you enjoy.
Ghost Walk. My name is Callum, and I will be your guide for this evening. And tonight, we're going to meander over the cobblestones. We're going to wander up and down the alleyways and passageways, which make this wonderful city what it is. With stories of death, murder, mass murder, disease. What constantly started, how it developed, and the important events throughout its history. We're going to leave the main streets behind, explore the forgotten courtyards, touch the walls, smell the smells, let the very history ooze into our souls. But a word of caution. This city we're walking is over 750 years old, so please be careful where you step. Stockholm Ghost Walk does not have any insurance, so if anyone should accidentally fall and hurt themselves, this walk never happens. But first things first, does anyone here know anything about Stockholm's history? That's what I like to see. Everything you hear tonight is the truth. It's just told from a different perspective. And what better place to start than right here, the year 1252, when a man, the name of Birger Jarl, was said to have founded what is now the modern city of Stockholm. You see, Stockholm's had life's a fort. It was built to protect the people living inland from invasion. And according to legend, Birger Jarl threw 2 logs of oak into Lake Marillen. And where these logs ran aground was where the city was built. Now remember that name, Birger Jarl. We'll hear more about him during the course of the evening. And with any luck, we might just bump in to our old friend, Birger. And on that salient point, keep on. Don't worry, you're going to get filmed this walk. And I'm far too old for those stairs. So everyone just take your time. I need 10 minutes to get over it. No rush. Is that everybody?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You met Tom Morton Trox's grand alarm. Stockholm's narrowest street. Around 1 metre in the centre and only 42 centimetres at the end. Now, Morton Troxy was a wealthy German merchant. He owned the houses in this neighbourhood and, in fact, lived just around the corner. But as Herr Trotzig, he met a very sticky end when he was murdered just outside of the city. And after his death, that passageway was renamed in his honour. You see, before it was known as Morton Troxt's Grand, that narrow walkway with stairs was known as the narrow walkway with stairs. Not the most imaginative back in the olden days. Now, for many years, that walkway was closed because it was considered too dangerous. And that because someone would actually trip and fall. Oh no. See down the bottom, past along Garton, was where the old harbour was situated. And it says we come running ashore, go running up those stairs, and go running down that lane. You see, when a sailor came ashore, he had but two things. The first was a pocket full of money. Now, he'd been at sea for weeks, months, even years. And in that time, he had saved up all his pay. And what's the second thing I hear you asking me? Well, that could best be described as a desire, or an urge, if you will. So come on, let's go flying down Bacchus Garden to Stockholm's biggest, most exclusive, most luxurious house of pleasure. Now, what they did as House of Pleasure, I really do not know. Perhaps they read a book, maybe a glass of whiskey. You never know, even a game of chess. But one thing I do know is after a vigorous game of chess, our sailor friend would feel tired and would lay his head down for a rest. And while he was sleeping, the young lady who had been playing chess with him would have a little look in his pocket and see that it was full of cash. Now, she wouldn't take the money there and then, of course not. So our sailor friend would wake up, see his money's gone, fight time. What she would do is go to a window and signal to two men skulking in the shadows below. And they'd make their way clear to Morton Troxt's Grand and wait. Now, our sailor friend would wake up, feel refreshed, he'd go pay for his whiskey and make his way back to his ship, only to be met here. Receive a sharp blow, bang, to the back of the head, and down those stairs he'd go. Now, I've all seen Hollywood movies. We all know how to fall downstairs. Head over heels, back off your wall, get to the bottom, pick yourself up, dust yourself down, on your merry way. Not these poor unfortunates, and if they did, they often wished they hadn't. Now, this occurred so often on Morton Troxt's Grand, the city authorities decided to close it, and the good citizens of Stockholm would have to walk the long way around. Now, many years later, they're trying to clean up this area, they reopened that passageway. And so that time, they told a gentleman living in the top floor apartment there that he had to move. Now, we're going to hear quite a bit more about this gentleman during the course of the evening. You see, he was the city's executioner. And the post of executioner, believe it or not, was an easy post to obtain. You only needed one qualification. You had to be in prison awaiting death. And instead of prison thinking, I don't really want to die, you got the prison authority say, hey, give this death malarkey a lot of thought, don't fancy it. How's about I become the new executioner instead? And just like that, you got the job. But on your first day at work, after they chopped your ear off, so everybody knew exactly who you were, you had to go through that doorway there, climb those stairs, grab the old executioner by the scruff of their neck, drag him to this spot here, and chop off his head. Not your easiest first day at work. You see, ladies and gentlemen, where we are standing is where the blood of countless executions has flown. As you're going to find out this evening, there's a lot more to Sweden than just ABBA and IKEA. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, behind me are 23 Baggins Garden, the aforementioned House of Pleasure. This house might not look like much now, but how could we tell this was once the most popular address in the whole of Stockholm? The stairs, ladies and gentlemen, they do not tell a lie. Many people made their way in, many diseases made their way back out again. Now, the days of old, this was Stockholm's red light district. It was for taverns, eateries, and houses of pleasure. Oh, excuse me. Ever let this gentleman through? Oh, there you go, sir. No sniggering. This is a reputable house now, okay? Same Fifi, my love. Okay, we'll say, oh yes, in the days of old, this was Stockholm's red light district. It was full of taverns, eateries, and houses of pleasure. And it's said to have all started here. You see, in 1762, this house was bought by Captain Almstrom. Now, the captain was a well-known figure in Stockholm. He was a drinker, a gambler, and a womanizer. And he bought this house for a very special reason. You see, in the 1500s, there's been a vast monastery in this area, and it was home to the Black Brotherhood. Now, the Black Brotherhood were an order of Dominican monks, and they got their name from the black cows they wore. In medieval Stockholm, they held a great deal of influence. But like many religious orders throughout the ages, they eventually fell foul of the king, and Gustav Vasa ordered for the monastery to be destroyed. And after it was razed to the ground, a rumour spread around Stockholm that the Brotherhood had hidden a vast treasure in the vaults and catacombs below. And as they reclaimed their treasure, they put a curse on it, stating that only the true owners could ever find it. Now in time, this rumour became legend, and the captain believed it to be true. That's why he bought the house. He believed you could tunnel down and enter the catacombs below. So how did a team of men, they tunneled down, and they did indeed enter the catacombs, and the search for the treasure began. And it went on for many years, and they found no trace of it. And by this time, the captain had run out of money, so he turned his house into a brothel to finance the search. Still, the search went on, still no trace. You see, but now the search had become an obsession to the captain. And in his desperation, he hired miners from the north of Sweden. If anyone could find the treasure, surely it was them. So the miners arrived in Stockholm. With their strange dress and unusual accents, they stood out from the crowd. Now the captain didn't want anyone knowing his business, so he forbade the miners from ever leaving their house. During the day, they searched for the treasure below. At night, they ate and slept in the servants' quarters. Now our captain was not a trusting man. He put guards on the only entrance, just in case the miners found the treasure and decided to keep it for themselves. Now one day, the captain realised he hadn't seen the miners for several days. So he went down to see the guards, and they swore that nobody had passed. So they went down below to search for the miners. They found no trace of them. Now our captain was a very superstitious man. He took this to be a terrible omen. So he ordered for the only entrance to be sealed, and he never spoke of it again. But what happened to the miners? Nobody knows. But as said on a still clear night, the residents of Bagensgarten could hear the muffled sound of pickaxe and shovel on rock, and the faint strains of ancient mining songs being sung. Now I'm going to tell a story. It was not long after I first started working in Stockholm Ghost Walk. I was having a chat with one of my neighbours. I told him what I did, and he asked me what I knew about the Black Brotherhood. So I told him, and he told me the story he'd been told many years before. Then this order of the Brotherhood, in time, became Freemasons. They became part of the Masonic movement, and they bought a house in Bagensgarten to retrieve their treasure. Now, I thought this was a great story, but I didn't get some evidence to corroborate it. So I started off on the internet. Couldn't find anything. I went to the reference library here at Galveston. Nothing there. I even talked to a couple of historians. They'd never heard this story before. So I took it to the urban myth. That was about 3 years ago. I had a group, it's a bit small, this, about 12, 14 people on it. Now, two American gentlemen in their early 60s. And I got into Bagensgarten, and as I was setting up, I heard one turn to the other. I got 23 Bagensgarten. And his friend replied, I know. I thought, or at least two know that I don't. So I started telling my story. As I'm telling the story, I started they got that right. Oh, spot on with that. And I thought they definitely know something I don't. I'm going to have a walk with them at the end of the talk. But about halfway through, one came up to me. He went, hey buddy, don't worry. We found the treasure. And I said, excuse me, are you a mason? I know I can't say no more. I said, seriously, I'm not wounded again at all. And his friend came up and said, hey, my buddy's already said too much. From now on, my lips are sealed. So I thought, right, I'm definitely going to nab you two at the end of this walk. So I got to the end of the tour, finished off, turned around, it vanished. disappointed thing, eh? So I don't know, maybe as the Americans say, they were just yanking my chain. Or maybe, just maybe, the story was true. I did think the fact they were dressed in full-length fur coats, and they were blinged up with more gold than against the rapper. And Pat ostentation a little ghost walk. But what can I say? They bucket life. We'll never know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to 1347, when a very unwelcome visitor came to Stockholm. In fact, not just Stockholm, but the whole of Sweden, and eventually the whole of Europe. Does anyone have any ideas who this unwelcome visitor was?
The plague.
Exactly. The Black Death. From 1347 to 1351, the plague wiped out a third of the Swedish population. Now, Stockholm at this point was not yet the capital, and a population of just under 4,000. But saying that, the plague still managed to account for 1,000 souls. So we had 1,000 bodies lying in the streets. Since point in its history, it was still a pagan nation. It knew nothing about diseases. It actually believed that the plague was evil spirits that would come falling from the sky and could be passed through touch. So saying that, nobody wanted to touch the bodies. So we had 1,000 rotting corpses lying in the streets. None of that with the rubbish of everyday life. We had animal waste. We had human excrement thrown from the windows above. Now, you've got to admire the ingenuity of the people at this time. Instead of cleaning it away, they took to wearing high-heeled shoes, both men and women, so they could walk through the dirt and detritus without getting their trousers mucky. Now, as ingenious as this was, what did they do to get rid of the evil spirits? I'll tell you. They took 3 substances. The first, a yellow powder, sulphur. The second, a black powder, potassium nitrate mixed with charcoal. And the third most dangerous, most deadly ingredient I have in my bag. What? What? You want me to take it out?
Yeah.
Seriously? What part of ancient then did you not understand? I can imagine everyone else, ladies and gentlemen, Stockholm Ghost Walk, no insurance. Anything happens to you, go see this young lady here. Okay. 3 stipulations. No talking, no sudden movements, and definitely no flash photography. Okay? Actually, young lady, can you do me a favour? Could you look after my cane? Now, can you take very special care of this cane? It is a valuable family heirloom. And if anything happens to me, can you please make sure it gets to my son? 2 hands. Guard it with your life. Actually, everyone, you're all going to have to move back, I'm afraid. You're all in the blast site. It's for your own safety.
Tam ty po prostu ty złam potopisz.
You are standing in a dangerous place. So listen, when I open my bag, shield your eyes. I need silence. I need to concentrate. I need to get into the groove. You can do this. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you deadly juniper. Now what they do, 60 sausages, they mix them together, they stick them on their door, they take out their 14th century cigarette lighter, and they'd set it alight. Now they believed that the flames would scare away the evil spirits and the smoke would cleanse their souls. Ever smell that smoke? Do you remind anyone of anything? Yeah. And don't say gin. Do you remind anyone of anything? Well, I'm running that smoke now, put to this end. See, a lot of people say that it reminds them of Christmas. Yes. As you say in many parts of Sweden during the month of December, to celebrate the festival of Santa Lucia, Christmas, the Swedish people burn juniper. The Swedish people have taken the smell of death and disease and turned it into Christmas. And here all thinking they're blonde-haired, blue-eyed and like to party. Let's put that away. Potion rid the city of evil spirits. Of course it bloody didn't, but it sure as hell helped with the smell. As I said, there are 1,000 rotten corpses lying in the streets. Mix that together to try to everyday life. The sweet aroma of burning substance was the only thing that made life bearable for these poor wretches. Thank you very much. Actually, before we go any further, I feel I should tell you something. Now look, I am not allowed to tell you this. So if anyone asks, you did not hear this from me. Seriously, if my boss finds out, he will fire me off the spot. But you look like good people, and I feel you have the right to know. So everything forms have ears. Stockholm Ghost Walk has got an agreement with the Stockholm police force, and we are allowed to lose up to 10% of our walkers every night. And up to 10%, they go, hey ho Callum, these things happen. Over 10%, I'm in trouble. Now look, I am talking serious trouble here. I am talking jail time. And I'm far too young and far too pretty to go to jail. Now, I've already ascertained that we like to watch the odd Hollywood movie. And I'm sure in our time, we've all watched the odd scary movie. And in a scary movie, who is always the first to be got? The one straggling behind at the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do not become a statistic and keep up. You have been warned. You will not be warned again.
Make me think of scary movies.
Ladies and gentlemen, behind us we have Stockholm, the big church. Now I'll give you a little bit of trivia. It's from that building there that all streets of Stockholm begin. I mean, the end of the street is closest to that building is where the numbers start. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And not the Royal Palace as many people believe. But actually that building there, which is the oldest continual building in Stockholm. And actually within those 4 walls is the original medieval statue of St. George and the Dragon. And that is well worth a visit. But I've got nothing else to say about it, so come on. Sorry. I forgot to tell you something. You know the little iron boy? If you rub his head, he will grant you eternal good luck. But if you're a woman, I'm afraid there's a 96% certainty you're going to become pregnant in the next 24 hours. Well, I know I should have told you before, but I'm sorry I forgot. And I can remind you again, Stockholm Ghost Walk, no insurance, so don't send your paternity claims to me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, behind us was the Royal Palace, the House of the Three Crowns. This is the original palace that burnt to the ground in 1697, and just 2 weeks after it was destroyed, a man by the name of Nicodemus presented full and completed plans for the new palace. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A little bit convenient, don't you think? But let's give the man the benefit of the doubt. Now, one out part on construction, Nicodemus was working late in his office, situated within the grounds, when he looked up and saw a small, grey, hooded monk-like figure sitting in the corner. He checked if the door was locked. It was. He turned round. The monk was right in front of his face. They stared at each other what felt like an eternity, and finally the monk spoke. He said, "Nicodemus, why are you wasting your time building this palace? No male member of the deceased house will live to see the palace completed. And if you did, within 200 years, this palace will be deserted." And just like that, he vanished. Now Nicodemus must have thought, I'm working too hard. I'm starting to hallucinate. But shortly afterwards, he became ill. On his deathbed, he asked his only son, Gustav, to oversee the completion of the palace. Now Gustav loved his father, it was his dying wish, so he readily agreed. But he didn't want to follow his father's footsteps. He didn't want to be building palaces. He wanted to travel around Europe with his new young bride. So after foreman in charge, and he went off on his travels. Now things started to go wrong almost straight away, and the king ordered him back to Stockholm to explain what was going on. He didn't like his excuses, and he fired him on the spot. Now Gustav was not bothered. He didn't want to be building palaces. He had missed the money, but hey ho. But shortly afterwards, he too became ill. His condition deteriorated rapidly, and he left behind a young wife, but no children. So the first part of the prophecy came true. No male member of the deceased house lived to see the palace completed. But what about the second part of the prophecy? Does that palace look deserted to you? These young men in the handsome blue uniforms must be guarding something. But actually, within 200 years, the royal family left this palace and took residence in Drottningholm Palace, where they live to this day. So no member of the royal family actually lives there. So in a roundabout sort of a way, the prophecy came true. But who was this small, grey, hooded monk-like figure? Young man the previous walk suggested he was Gollum from Lord of the Rings. But that boy was a fool. Now many people tell you it's in fact Birger Jarl, the founder of this great city. And it's said that Birger Jarl stated that as long as people lived in Stockholm, he would remain. So you never know. He might be looking down at us right now as I speak. So our palace has got a ghost. Yippee! It's also got a white lady, but none of you or I will ever see her. Because the white lady only appears to members of the royal family just before they're about to die. Now you might believe in ghosts, you might not. It's totally up to you. The one thing that cannot be disputed, the king just after third was seen in deep conversation with the white lady one night, and shortly afterwards he was assassinated. Now, Gustav's love of culture. He founded the Royal Opera House and many theatres in Stockholm, some of which still remain today. And he was loved and hated in equal measure. Now, two counts in the city said enough is enough. Something to be done about him. Now, they could assassinate themselves. They were too well known. They'd been recognised and executed. So they found someone to do it for them. And that someone was a Captain Ankerström. He was a captain in the Royal Palace Guard and a well-known face in the bars and taverns of Stockholm. And he was a man who had a deep, deep grudge against the king. So the count invited to dinner. The captain was delighted to be invited to such a fine house that he readily agreed. And during the course of the evening, he was plied with much alcohol. And eventually the conversation turned to the king and what was to be done about him. Now this is where the count's played a blinder. Because not only did the captain denounce the king and demand he be assassinated, he volunteered to do the job himself. Now the perfect opportunity was just around the corner. The king was hosting a masquerade ball at the Royal Opera House. It chose the three men to get up close to him and to be wearing masks. So the night the ball arrived, the three men appeared in disguise. And so they could identify each other. They had three chalk marks on their cape and three chalk marks on their boots. Now the king was also in disguise, but very conveniently he had the royal emblem sewn into his costume. So the three men looked for their chance, but every time they got close to the king they were thwarted, until finally the captain saw the king standing at the back of the stage. So he walked up, he took out his pistols, he came up behind the king, and he whispered in his ear, "That's a beautiful mask you're wearing, Your Majesty." And bang! He shot him. But Fred fella here, he kicked him off fall. The captain went to his boot to get a knife to finish the job. And he dropped his knife. By now, the king was screaming for help, so the captain knew he had to act quickly. So he shouted, "Fire!" And in the chaos and confusion that followed, he escaped. But not before the king had removed his mask. Now the king died 10 days later of his injuries, but not before the captain had been caught and taken to his place of execution. And waiting for him was a large pole. And on this pole was nailed his sword, his pistol, and a sign saying, "Here stands the killer of the king." Now the captain knew his days were numbered. He knew he was about to die. He just didn't realise how brutal it was going to be. First, he was whipped till the flesh hung off his back. Then he had his left arm chopped off, followed by his right. Next, his left leg, and finally his right leg. The remaining stumps were tied behind his back, and the rope was pulled as far as it would go. And just before the blessed release of death, the executioner came and sliced off his head. Now, believe it or not, this was considered an honourable way to die. Only people of status were beheaded. If the captain had become a criminal, he set him on a standstill and hung by his neck. Now, his family were horrified by his deeds, and means they changed their surname, and they set up and funded a hospital in the centre of Stockholm to try and pay back the good citizens for their son's awful deeds. So, ladies and gentlemen, while you're visiting Stockholm, if any of you are harbouring any thoughts of killing the king, I think the Swedish people will not take too kindly to it. Unless, of course, you've got incredibly wealthy parents. If they want to build a hospital, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're standing in Stortorget, the big square. You have to admit, it's quite a beautiful square. It's actually the scene of the greatest atrocity in Stockholm's history. So vile this atrocity that the term bloodbath was coined right here. Here's 1520, the Danes are back in control. This time King Christian II. Now Swedish history books remembers the time of the king, with good reason. So after the Battle of Brunkenberg and other rebel uprisings, the king decided the Swedish people needed to be taught a lesson. So he sent out 100 invitations for a grand banquet at the royal palace. They chose these people very carefully indeed. They were noblemen, clergymen, minor aristocracy, and just common and garden members of the Stockholm public. On the night of November the 7th, they sat in the banqueting hall, eagerly awaiting the arrival of the king, when suddenly the hall filled with palace guards, and the only exit was barred. Now the king duly arrived, he sat on his throne, and he denounced everyone present as traitors and heretics. The trial was brief, they were all found guilty. The 17 women and children present were sent to Denmark to live out the rest of their days in slavery. The 83 men spent one night in the prison just around the corner. That following morning, November the 8th, the trumpet call sounded and messengers went out to the streets, ordering the citizens to remain indoors until they heard a second trumpet call. This duly arrived with the sounds of hundreds of marching feet. So citizens came to the streets to see what was going on, and they came here to Stortoriet, and they saw the men being led up Court Bricken, flanked on each side by palace guards, and waiting for them was one man, a German man, the city's executioner. Now, can you imagine then that fateful day? Where'd you like to be in the queue? Number 1 or number 83? Maybe somewhere in the middle. You could see 40 of your countrymen lose their heads. You could turn around and see the fear in the rest of them's eyes. As the first to go volunteered, he was the local priest. He knew where he was going. He was more than happy to meet his maker. As for the first half, it was a relatively painless affair. The executioner's arm was strong. His blade was sharp. Oh, young man, thank you for volunteering. Please, step forward. Don't be shy. Come on. Get yourself up here. No, not the other way around. I'm left-handed. That's a good colour, this one. You'll hide the goal. Actually, lady, you're going to get splattered. Now we're wearing a good jacket. And you found just staring at the cobblestones, okay? No mucking about, no showing off, because this cane is very, very sharp. Now, the first blow severed his spinal cord, rendering him paralysed. The second sliced off his head. Thank you very much, there, young man. As I say, for the first half, it was a relatively painless affair. Now, about halfway through, a table and chair was brought into the square, and the executioner sat down to eat his lunch. None of the dogs on the menu that day, but I do know there was a bottle of schnapps, and our executioner enjoyed a good few drinks. So he finished his meal. The table and chair were taken away. He got up. I don't know what it was. His shoulder was getting a bit stiff. His blade was nowhere near as sharp as it had been. And the schnapps was starting to affect his aim. One man lost his arm. Another, the top of his head sliced clean off. He was just left there with a flap of skin. And all the way through, these poor wretches had to stand there and wait till he got it right. Now, the execution took over 7 hours to complete. As it came to the end, a big black cloud formed over Stockholm, and down came a torrential rain. Now, medieval drainage is not as good as it is today, and it soon started to overflow, and the rainwater started to mix with the blood. Now, I've cut a finger. You know how much that can bleed. Can you imagine the blood after 83 decapitations? These cobblestones were awash with it, and it mixed with the rainwater. And it started to rise and to rise until someone cried out, "My God, it is like a bath of blood!" Hence the term bloodbath, coined right here. Now, once the executions were over, the heads were put pyramid shapes around the square, ready to turn around the city and placed on spikes. The king ordered the bodies had to remain there for 3 days and to be torn apart by packs of dogs. And all the way through, the good citizens of Stockholm had to get on with their day-to-day lives. Now, as you look around the square, can you see anything to commemorate that fateful day? Now, some people say, yes, the fountain, but that was already there. Other people tell you the Nobel Museum is situated here and many of those who fell. Now, if that's the truth, there's absolutely no documentation to prove it. One history book said the house there is painted red to signify the blood of the martyrs, and the stones around the windows represent each of the 83 that fell. Don't bother counting them. There isn't 83. Now this is the spot where the citizens of Stockholm have decided to host their annual Christmas market. You come here, buy some overpriced goods, some hot chocolate, some warm blood. Actually, the summer months, all the cafes and restaurants have their tables and chairs outside. That's on a Friday evening in the summer. This is a popular spot for Stockholm families to come. Mum and Dad can enjoy a cold beer, a glass of wine, while their children run around the square and play. I don't know what it is with the psyche of the Swedish people. They take a scene of massacre, a scene of bloodshed, a scene of barbarity. And what do? With it? They turn it to Christmas and fun family entertainment. It's okay for you people, you can leave. Me, I'm married to a Swede. And the first thing you learn when you marry a Swede is you do everything, and I mean everything, she tells you to do. And on that depressing note, please.